Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Warthunder. This is the High Dragon's Breath, preparing you for the rising of the Red Sun. Our newest vehicle in this lineup is the Chi-Nu. This is an actual tank in the Japanese line that isn't bad. I'm lying. This vehicle has two problems. One, it's built on the same chassis as the Chi-He and the Ho one, so it's a 2-generation old chassis by design. It uses a decent 2.3 BR gun. Problem is, it's at 3.3 with the same armor layout as a 2.0 vehicle and the same gun as a 2.3 vehicle. We're going to see if mating these two things together on a already pretty decent chassis can make a difference. So, the Chi-Nu is essentially what really counted as a self-propelled gun for the Japanese, except this one has heavy armor. So, we have a 75mm piece and 50mm of frontal armor, and 50mm isn't bad at 2.0, at 2.3, especially when you angle. Problem is, you can't angle, you have turned cheeks, which is goddamn, that's so annoying. The other problem is these 20mm plates. I've had it happen to me. 50 caliber machine guns will go through this. Weirdly enough, I've been killed by anti-air in these Japanese tanks with 20mm of side armor a lot, more than I'm willing to admit, in fact. And we don't talk about that. This lower plate or middle plate, as well as the upper plate, are only 12mm thick. It's like the Japanese didn't think that the enemy would fire at angled armor. It only gets up to at its max, and this gun has negative 10 degrees of gun depression, so you can depress, but at max, you're looking at 53mm of armor. That's nothing to 3.3 guns. That's nothing to American 37mm. That's nothing to a 47mm. And even if you are angled, you're still looking at 50mm everywhere else. 50mm on the frontal plate, 50mm on the turret, 50mm on the lower plate, even less on the lower plate, 8mm. It's baffling to me. But the saving grace for this vehicle is its gun. This gun has the Type 1 armor-piercing high explosive, which wrecks house. I love this round, and it has an 11mm penetration high explosive round, which I'm actually going to take 2 of these into battle today, in case we run into something that we can't kill and I want to trap shot it, or in case we run into some light skin tank destroyers like a Dicker Max, or thirdly, we might run into anti-air. And 2 rounds of high explosive should kill everything. Now for the things like the things that you should be scared of, the Wirbelwind, all the American anti-aircraft, that high explosive can penetrate the Wirbelwind's turret, and if high explosive detonates inside the tank, well, it's foobar. It's real foobar. This vehicle has some interesting armor on the turret, which may allow you to bounce some things. This large and kind of protruding gun, I don't know, it's like a gun mount, but it's also the barrel mounting for the breech. As you can see here, if you look in here in the x-ray, the breech is here. It's those rods, but then there's another 50mm of armor around the rods. So I don't know. If they hit this, there's a good chance they control and bounce. There's a gun shield. 2 gun shields, actually. There's an internal gun shield, like a mantlet, and then there's an external gun shield. If you hit the external gun shield on the edges here, you're going through 100mm of armor, which is not bad. Matter of fact, it's actually great. Most things at long range will bounce that. Will get bounced by that, or absorb it. Modifications, this APHE has 97mm of pen. It's the same as the Honi. It's the same as the Honi 1 and the Honi 3. The things that we're going to be taking out today, we're going to be taking out the Chi-Nu, the Honi 3, and the Chi-He. It's time to say goodbye to the Ho 1. It's fun. It really is. I just got smoke with this vehicle, and I have to admit, using smoke with this is so much fun. It's like a fat Japanese smoke machine. But, yeah, we're moving up in the class here. So without further ado, let's jump into a battle. But I would like to talk about the next things that we're doing. I have to grind up this anti-air line because Warthunder hates me and they're forcing me to get more vehicles than I need in order to get new tanks like the Cheeto, the M24, the NATO tank destroyer, the later Cheetos, and, you know, the American-Japanese HVSS Sherman, the 76mm M4A3. So, all of those things will be coming soon, because the Japanese is one of my favorite tank trees to grind up, even though they have no armor. It's weirdly enough, this is one of the few vehicle tank tree lines that I enjoy playing, even though they lack basic knowledge about armor. Slopes, thicknesses, they just suck, but by God, their armor-piercing high explosive is fun. Fun, 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 fun. We're going to take 2 rounds, I said? Let's take 3. I feel optimistic. And 25 rounds of the high explosive. Actually, 22 rounds of the APHE. Just so we can even it out with a nice 25 rounds of ammo. And that should be fine, because I don't take more than 20 in my tank destroyers. As far as differences from the other variants... Oh man, it looks like we're at a low BR here. I see Panzer IIIs, I see M3 Lees. The only things that might give us trouble are these guys, the big fat M4A3s, the 105s, because their heat rounds will mess us up, their high explosive will mess up our big fat lower plate, and basically almost everything that they do can severely screw us. But as far as machine guns go, because the Japanese are notorious for not having good machine guns, they have a hull-mounted and an anti-aircraft mount, which would be great if there was infantry in the game, but as far as actual machine gunning goes, it sucks. It's a terrible, terrible alignment. This tank's faster than I expected it to be, even with the enlarged turret, because the turret is enlarged from its previous versions to house that 75mm cannon. I'm looking over this side because I don't see any of my allies going towards B, and there's a good chance they'll be pressing that way. Enemy teams tend to go to B or C on this map, and the team on this side has a tendency to go to A. And it looks like my prophecy is coming true. They're not going for it. I really don't want to go up there because I know I don't want to get stuck in close confrontation with this thing. I want to just stick behind cover like this, use my 10 degrees of gun depression to get this great kind of sniper rifle-ish round on target. If I could get over these trenches for the ever-living love of God. Stop moving. Okay, just shoot the M4. I'm stuck. No, I'm not. Okay, go, 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 go. Oh my God. Oh my... Oh my fucking God. M4A3. You are mine. Run, run, run. How did that not pen? Come on. Come on. At least fall over sideways so they can't shoot you anymore. Just do the civil thing and die already. That's what everyone else is thinking. I refuse. I will not die to an Su-51. Oh my God, I refuse to die to this guy. Okay, good. Oh my God. See, okay, okay. Real talk for a second, I should have loaded the high explosive. That was not a good boom by me. Okay, and that was a lucky shot by him. Nice 76mm, I hope you burn to death. Alright, Chihi. Actually, no, Honi 3. This thing has the same gun, but it's on a casemate tank destroyer with less armor. So we're going to be staying at a farther range. I got myself stuck there, that was my bad. That was not a good use of that tank, but you can see, with the bigger crew and the less chance of having a high explosive round go off inside of you because of your enhanced quote-unquote armor, you can survive a lot longer even underneath quite a bit of fire as we were under there. Eye for an eye, that was good. We got him after death. I'm just gonna... Okay, well, I'm not gonna take out a plane apparently. Fuck me. Screw you, Warthunder. I don't know why this doesn't have a machine gun, because the Japanese seem to love hull-based machine guns. Why not shove one in this, huh? I mean, it would help with my long-range engagement. I found a good spot to sit on this map. It's right up here. You can angle your turret, or in my case, your casemate, and use this vehicle's incredible depression to peep over the hill and kill things. I've had trouble with the M3, but I think I got him here. Oh yeah, there we go. How's that feel, huh? Probably not so good, huh? Alright, Panzer 2C DAC. That is one. Ah, fuck me. Fire from 75mm or Panzer 3N. He's got the short 75mm, right? Yep. That's all. Yeah, see, there's the thing. That heat round can carry for a while. You're at a long distance, so it's kind of hard for some people to pen you, but if they have heat, it really nullifies distance. Well done. Well done. You bought a premium tank destroyer, and you're using it how you should. 88mm of pen on this one. We might have to flank, which we can do because this thing has incredible speed on its side. But I would rather take out a bomber. It seems like their entire team is clustered around the D7 area. So I think if I get a chance, I'm going to take a bomber out and do a run in that area. Because, yeah, the Panzer IIIs are all there. I find it really fun to kill Panzer IIIs with bombs because when the Panzer III was really powerful was when it was part of the first tries at combined arms races during the first stages of the Blitzkrieg in France. And, you know, before they had to upgrade it with the 50mm and all that, when the Panzer III was, you know, armed how it first was, which was with the short 50mm instead of the long one. Jeez, I almost forgot that. Then when it absolutely dominated in France, they would have had so much close air support that it would have allowed the Blitzkrieg to be so much more powerful, which is why it's, you know, so famous. It was the best medium tank of the Germans in the Second World War, and it was intended to be their main vehicle until they realized that, wow, it does not fit a 75mm, and, you know, the 50mm can only do so much. A lot, granted, the 50mm, the German 50mm can do a lot of damage. There they are. Ooh, Stugs. Stugs are some of the most brain-dead players in the game. I feel like I've said that they're the smartest before, but, yeah. In this case, they're the dumbest, because that guy is definitely going to get blown up. Yeah, get out of sniper view. Is it going to blow up? Nope. Panzer III. My second bomb didn't hit the KV-1. Cromwell is shooting at me. Get out of here. Get out of here, Cromwell. Well, I just have to wait for this guy to decide that his battle is over. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Now that we know where they are, we can scout out to that side, because that's where their weak spots are. But we do also know that their entire enemy team is going towards B. So, like a regular team player, I'll be running away from the main confrontation. M4A1s. Okay, I can't pen his upper plate. Not surprising. M10. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. I was going to say, a KV-1, we have absolutely no chance against that. Yeah, no. We'll stay for the end of this game, actually. This is a good shot by him. On a target that small, that far away. He hit the hardest part of our armor with an APHE round and still killed us. Man, 76mm is good. KV-1 is good. We couldn't have penetrated him in the side from that distance, unfortunately. I think they're just going to run out of vehicles long before they actually capture anything. Though this guy, you see, he's using the same technique I was, except he's in a much more fast and maneuverable vehicle. As well as possibly having better depression than me, or at least a better strategy. And, of course, he has a turret, which, you know, unfair advantage. M24. I'm going to get the Japanese version of that soon. Whoa. They penned him through the mantlet? No, that was a trap shot. That was a nice trap shot. Alright, T-34 came out for the last shot, but good game. Good game. Good game with the Japanese. That was very enjoyable. Didn't show you exactly what the Chinu can do, but hopefully we'll get a different map. Not going to blame it on the map, because it was probably my fault, but hopefully we get a different map for the next one so I can show you even more. Alright, last of my research stuff for the Japanese. Man, I can't wait for, like, the Cheeto late, and Chiri. The Chiri is a funny beast. I might show you some of that. I think I might show you the Chinu 1. Does that have the... No, it doesn't. Alright, but there's a Japanese tank with 2 anti-tank guns. One mounted in the hull like a machine gun, and the other one mounted in the turret. And it's just pretty cute. Kind of how it has a tiny little old 37mm in the hull. that really is completely useless against anything except for anti-air, because it is it is a fixed 37 millimeter with only armor-piercing high explosive, which limits its penetration to a incredible low 55 millimeters of armor. At a very high BR where nothing will ever have that little armor that you'll be that close to, except for anti-air. Which kind of begs the question: are the Japanese like the ultimate anti-air? Because it seems like a lot of their vehicles have great armor-piercing high explosive to remove the like added space from anti-air. They have good mobility. They have decent frontal armor so that they can advance on anti-air without being afraid of them. Um, and pretty much they could face hug and then smash any anti-air, because they also have great depression to fire down into crew cabins and such, as well as multiple hull-mounted machine guns. So if there's an open top or something that you're firing at from an angle, you can get two different angles of bullets going at them. So it seems a little bit strange, and it's food for thought as to how they design these vehicles, not in real life, I mean in Warthunder, to work, that it just seems really supremely good at killing anti-air. Little anecdote there, I don't know what came over me there, it just seems interesting. I'm sure it wasn't designed that way, but I don't know. Just seems stupid otherwise. And we have 3 mediums pulling up on this point. I think we should probably not go up the gut, but that's what we're going to do. There he is. It's a T-34E. We can't pen that from the front. But if we slow down and we use our brain, or rather our... oh god. I could not have been louder. Okay, I'm gonna flank them because I need to hit their side armor. Oh, Jesus Christ, he was waiting for me. He was waiting for me. And he shot me through the smoke, too. Long before I could get a beat on him. Well done, sir. Well done. Well, that's the last chance I have to get that thing out and running. Jesus, the whole enemy team was there. We're gonna snipe over at that point. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're definitely sniping over there. The Honey 1 can wreck a T-34 from the front. At least I hope it can. It used to be able to. I don't know, this is a pretty high tier. Again, this thing's 3.3, so we're going to get pulled up into 3.3 and 4.3 matches often. With low-tier TDs in tow. And a low-tier TD, by the way, is basically a death sentence in this game, especially if you're up-tiered. Because, my god, when your only job is to kill tanks, and your gun is too weak to kill tanks, what even is your job? That is how I feel when I play some of the thin-skinned TDs. And it's like, we traded all of our armor off for this awesome gun, and the gun is not even useful. M4A1. Oh shit, we squandered our shot. Normally that would not mean advance, but considering the amount... I could have gotten on target faster. That could have been done better. Damn it. I hate the M4s. It's so good. I lied. Let's take out the Ho-1. We're going to move all of our APHE, load a shit ton of smoke, and just smoke up a point. That's it. That's all we're going to do. I'm not even going to load a second round of ammo. I'm going to just use smoke this whole time. That guy just pointed out an enemy right over there, so I'm just gonna smoke it up. I'm just gonna smoke it up. Those T-34s are gonna murder me, but I'm gonna smoke it up. You shall not camp. You wanna know why? Because I'm gonna smoke it up. Oh, see? See if I can get him with the heat here. Oh, it didn't do anything. Gosh, darn it. Whoa. That was a good snapshot. He just stopped, spun around, and shot the shit out of me. Oh, 20 millimeters of side armor. Don't you love it? Don't you love these premium T-34s? Isn't it so wonderful what they can do to you? Damn. Bad game. Bad game. Bad couple of games. I still love it. I still love the guns. I still love the handling of these weapons. I don't feel as bad as I do with the Germans because, like, I love the German tanks for what they are. I love these Japanese tanks. These Japanese tanks because they're such a freaking meme. They're hilarious. I love them. Chinu 2, the Hago Commander. So many choices, so little time. How about neither? Let's go find something in aviation. Naval aviation. Something that I'm going to find and try out. So, do we have the HS-129er unlocked? The Junker. How far? Yeah. Have I said how much I love the HS-129er? This is my favorite plane, by far. You know what? No, I'm not going to try anything out today. I'm just going to let you guys look at the duck. I'll show you the whole HS-129er family, actually. This is the HS-129er B2. This thing, which is the duck minus the big cannon. So, if you look at the duck by itself, it doesn't look like a normal German aircraft. It looks like a mix between bomber and fighter. You know, the fighters have that very slim, square-like body, and then the forward gull-shaped wings, which I just love these wings so much. I mean, it looks ugly. It looks really ugly, but it's just so pretty once it gets in the air. The other thing I love about the duck is look at all this armor. 5mm on the engines, over the fuel deck. 75mm of frontal plate glass, bulletproof glass armor. You have a whole crew compartment armored with 12mm of armor, 2mm of armor. Somebody shooting at you from the side, they hit these 2mm, it might not go through. Or they're firing from here, or here, or back here. They're going to hit 12.7mm, so if they're far enough away, they can bounce off this. In short, this is a very well-armored frontal area. If you get shot in the front with 50 cals, you can head on anything you want with 50 caliber machine guns. And if they fire at the glass, nothing. If they fire at this armor, nothing. 25.5mm, 50 cal will not go through that. But once you look at the X-ray, you'll see what the duck has in store for its enemies who head up her. A bunch of 20mm machine guns. I think it's got 2. Nope, it's got 2, and then 2 7.92 MGs. MG-17s. So it's got 2 MG-17s and 2 20mm machine guns. As you saw before, it's got armor over the engines and armor over the fuel. It just seems like such a brawler in the air. And as far as diving, turning, it's all not good, but not bad. You can take bombs in this as well. You can take a 30mm cannon. You can take a 37mm cannon. You can take 4 bombs of 50 kilograms each. The 7.62's no real penetration there. But for armored target on the 20 mils, you can get 19mm penetration rounds. You can get 25mm. Yeah, the Universal has 25mm of penetration. So is the air target. Wow. Yeah. It's got APHE. It's got armor-piercing incendiary shells that can penetrate 25mm of armor. So do the stealth. So, and then look at this. The 30mm machine gun can get a 95mm penetration HVAP round. The 37mm, even more. 142mm of armor. Excuse me. I just drank a lot. 37mm with 142mm of pen. That's a huge amount of damage from a relatively light and powerful airplane. And that is just so awesome, because I'm pretty sure they're mounted underneath the hull, and you could basically drop in on tanks with angled armor or anything that doesn't have a ton of deck armor, fire, and just turn it into Swiss cheese. But that, honey, that ain't nothing compared to the HS-129er B3. Look at that gun. Oh my gosh, is this a scary plane? I am terrified of this thing. In any tank that I take out, I immediately stop. When I see an HS-129er spawn in the air, I stop, I train my main gun on it, and I just unleash everything that I have. Hull machine guns, anti-aircraft machine guns, my main gun, everything. Because this 75mm cannon That's right, 75 millimeter cannon with 13 rounds of ammo can penetrate through 135 millimeters, 175 millimeters of armor. That's a high number for anti-tank guns. This is ridiculous. The armored target on this has explosive mass of, let me see, 4.2 kilograms? Well, that might be the object mass, but in either case, solid shot or not, this thing enters a tank, it's gonna kill 2, 3 crew members, or just murder the whole tank. This thing against T-34s, it turns them into nothing. I've seen this take out 2, 3 tanks in a single run if they start high. What I do with this, when I get it in arcade, I go straight up, and then I dive on top of a T-34, shoot it in the top of the turret, pull off, and just watch as it dies. It has, again, the same crazy armor layout. This is one of the more heavily armored planes in the game, with this curled 12mm steel plate, and then these 2mm cheeks, actually, so it can head up. And guess what? In order to support that head up action, she has 2 machine guns. In the X-ray, you can see she still has the holes for the other ones, but only these lower machine guns are present. Now let's look at the modifications. As you saw before, we have stealth rounds for the normal 75 for the offensive MGs, and then we have the heavy 75mm. The default can penetrate 135, and the armored target can penetrate 175. I think that might be one of the highest penetrating guns on a plane. I do know that this is probably the biggest gun on a plane that you can get in Warthunder. And just saying, this is awesome. It is awesome. And I didn't know this was here. I always thought the DO 217 was a premium, and then one day I wanted to bring it out for a video, and I'm like, wait, it's not premium? Why is it not over here? And I looked over and I'm like, oh my god, I can get this. And I didn't like attackers in the game, which is why I never played through these lines. When I first got the game, I was like, attackers, they're used for tanks. In anti-aircraft battle, they're not all that good. They're not all that fun to play. And then I realized that the HS-219er isn't here. This is the only reason I would ever play realistic battles. Like honestly, this is the only reason I would play. Just to get the HS-129er. Or the HS-129. I don't know why I say HS-129er. It doesn't make... I don't even prefer that designation. But just to get this at 3.0 and murder T-34s and slaughter everything. Even in realistic battles where I'm not all that good. I'm not a great player by any means. But just... it'd be so much fun. And I'm disappointed by the things that come after it. The ME-400... oh, that's... yeah. The ME-410. I mean, it's a cool-looking aircraft. And it's got a lot of negligible armor. Look at the front. Bulletproof glass. And then no nose armor at all. 8mm of armor. Everything in here is not armored. The fronts of the wings are armored. The front of the propellers are armored for some damn reason. And then, like, these wing flaps and stuff, it has 9mm of armor. There's nothing as heavy as the duck. There's nothing as powerful. And even if you're getting shot at from behind, this whole area, which is where an enemy will be coming onto your tail, is not armored. And it just seems like you'd get shredded a lot more easily than in the duck. I would assume that that comes with the fact that this may be more maneuverable, but for something that's supposed to be a stable gun platform for this large 50mm cannon, I don't think that that matters. And the other thing is, you have defensive armament in this, which you don't have in the duck. That may be the saving grace, is these 13mm defensive machine guns. But you have no top guns, just side guns. And I don't think that they can aim out, so you might just be firing over your own tail. But you have 20mm offensive machine guns and a big 50mm cannon. And just talking about that for a second, the universal rounds on the offensive 20mm penetrate 25mm of armor. That's basic. The turreted machine guns, nothing. The 50mm, 97mm standard, armored target, 97mm, armored target level 2, 150 millimeters. That's not bad. It's not as good as the Duck, but this cannon has belts instead of a single round. It can also carry significantly more ammo, 22 rounds as opposed to 13. And it has air target rounds as well, in case, you know, you wanted to unleash a 50mm cannon at 1,200 feet, or 1,200 meters. The ME-401, whatever the hell, same armor layout, it looks like. X-ray? Yeah. I honestly don't know what the difference is between these. It might be engine, but still, it's the same thing. They detach from the Duck. And then there's this travesty. This I don't like. This I genuinely do not enjoy even looking at. It's so ugly. It's so just not what the Duck is. It's so anti-Duck, so to say. It also says this has a 30mm cannon. Where the hell is that? Where is this 30mm that I'm being told? Oh god, it's in the nose. Wait, it's in the nose? Oh my god, it fires out of the nose. So you have these two beautiful nasal cannons here for 15mm machine guns, and then you have a big old 30mm down in the belly of your aircraft. This seems more like an plane vehicle, just on the basis of its two freaking propellers. This is a dual propeller system. It's ridiculous. And armor, none to speak of, because they needed speed. Obviously, this is not a ground striker. This is an anti-aircraft vehicle, which might also be the reason... Well, it has some ground striking capabilities. It has bombs, but I'm assuming that would dock at its weight so much that at its BR it would be useless. The universal and armored target, 50mm on the 15mm machine guns, 60mm and 95 on the armored target for the 30mm. That's the same as the 50mm, but I'm assuming it has less ammo? No, same amount of ammo. Alright, well, it'll probably go faster considering that this is a machine gun and not a cannon. So yeah, I don't like this as much, but it's still doable. I would still use it to ground strike. And then the Narwhal. This Narwhal, it doesn't disappoint me. I like this vehicle. I objectively like how it looks. It's beautiful. It really is a gorgeous looking vehicle. Armor-wise, it's got a nice 90mm plate of glass and then some 15mm steel plates. You know, if somebody's firing you from far enough away, 50 cals won't pen. You know, just a little extra comfort there. Looking at the X-ray, if you couldn't see this giant 50mm cannon with these big old belt links, I love those. I like that it has the belt that goes underneath it. It has 32 rounds of ammo, but the problem is this is the only gun in the tank or in the plane. Jeez, you see, once I get into big guns, I'm like, oh, it's automatically a tank. No, not so. The pilot is surrounded by fuel tanks. Hit this thing once and it's falling apart. Because it's got these big old engines, big old jet engines, which is great. It's a good jet. It's an okay jet, actually. It's, compared to other things, it's not as good, but it does have this huge gun. So, talking about its ability to ground strike and its ability to fight planes, because that is what you're going to need to do. Yeah, that's what you're going to need to do because you only have one gun and it's this main cannon. The default rounds are an armor-piercing tracer shell, a high-explosive incendiary tracer, and a high-explosive incendiary tracer machine gas. Machine shoss. I don't know what that means. Looking at the armor target, 150mm of penetration, so you're looking at the same gun as the other one. I would assume faster fire rate, or at least easier to aim, because I've seen this thing played before. It's not bad, but honestly, nothing comes close to the Duck. I like the Arado. I wish I could like this thing. I wish I could fall in love with this. I wish I could say that I love this vehicle and that it's a great plane and the wing, it's so Batman-like and it's so, just the flying wing concept is so cool, but in practice, it's got no armor, it's got no structure, it's got so much fuel and these huge flammable engines. And these 30mm cannons, they aren't nose-mounted. They're spaced. And this thing Flaps or no, you're not getting into a dive to engage something and then pulling out of it. Flying wing, my ass. It's not going to fly after that. So just talking about the 30 mils on this, it's not bad. But the best penetration you can pull out, 95 millimeters. It won't penetrate everything. At 7.3, it won't penetrate a lot of things. And even if it does, that's your only weapon. Good luck taking out planes in something that can't turn all that well, isn't all that fast to begin with, and only has these big, wide space 30 mils. The convergence on these isn't short. It's pretty far. So, it's a difficulty. It really is a difficulty with these German jets to get to love them. But, I tell you, there ain't nothing as good as me good old 75 millimeter tank gun on a plane. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day.